Hello, Capricorn. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Star Tarot by Kathy McLeland. There's Kathy's website if you'd like it. Supportive Oracle cards, Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards by Tori Hartman, illustrated by Gretchen Raish Baskin. On the back here are some websites, torihartman.com, watkinspublishing.co.uk or .com. If you freeze frame there, you'll see both of those if you want to see them. Whew. What do we have here for Capricorn? Got something to say. You have something to say. You definitely have something to say. What do you have to say? You need to get something off your chest. There's Five of Cups here. This is what's hidden. This was face down. This is your extra card. Something's going on here that you're not happy with, but I feel like you're not saying anything. And I feel like you need to have something needs to be said. I feel like I need to let this be known how I feel. It's creating a barrier between you and this person by not speaking your mind. Now, how you say what you need to say, that's its own thing. If you need to write it out first, or maybe you need to talk it out with somebody else who you feel more comfortable with first, that might be a good idea. But my first impression is that you're considering just like letting it go. Thing is, I don't think you're really going to let it go. You may not say anything, but it's still going to be there. It's going to be right here in the back of your head, and every now and then it's just going to be like, yep, that happened before. Yep, that happened. It did happen. I didn't say anything, but I do remember it. And maybe they don't realize I remember it, but I do. Because there's this seed starting. The seed has been planted. The Ace of Pentacles is telling me it's showing up in your challenge position. If you don't say something, if you don't work it out, it's going to sit in the back of your brain, and it will show itself later. It's kind of like, it reminds me of like when you plant a tree, like a willow, too close to like water lines. From what I understand, the roots will seek that out, especially if it's near a septic tank. It'll seek that out, and it'll go in there, and it'll cause problems. So it's kind of like at first it feels like I could just ignore it, but the longer it goes, the more those roots grow, and sooner or later they're going to be a problem, and they're going to have to be taken care of. And it might be one of those things where, for example, if you have a tree growing near a septic tank, you can use a roto-rooter to clear out the pipes every now and then, but if you don't get rid of the source of it, it's going to keep going. And it's like once you have a fully grown tree, it's a lot harder to get rid of a fully grown tree than it was just to pluck the little sapling before it got that far, you know? So it's like, pluck it while it's a sapling, it's not really that big of a deal. When it's a full-grown tree, it's kind of like, well, it's a lot more effort now, and now it might have damaged the pipes. How do we get it off the pipes? How do we stop it? Like, even if I cut down the tree, I still have to like get the roots to stop growing, because that's one of those trees that keeps going. Even after you cut it back, it'll regenerate. So it can become a big mess later. You definitely need to say something. I feel like it's not like you have to make a huge deal about it. You just need to let them know that you know what happened. It just needs to be addressed. It doesn't have to become this huge issue, because they seem to have something's not right here. It's ironic that these two cards are there. These are what's literally not working. They think things are fine. They think things worked out the way they were supposed to. They don't realize what they did wrong. Like, even if they should, I feel like you might be looking at it like, well, how can you not know? But the way you view things and the way they view things, completely different. To you, it makes perfect sense. Like, well, that was obviously not right. How would you not know? Which is probably part of the reason why you were considering not saying anything. Kind of like, well, it's obvious that wasn't right. I guess I don't need to say anything because it's clear that's just so point blank obvious. It's like when you line up a bunch of clothes and you're like supposed to put them together by color, and you're like, well, we got all the red, green, blue. Everything's segregated by its color, red, green, blue, yellow, purple, and you're like, well, they got a yellow in the middle of the blue. Like, how would you not know that that's wrong? To you, that's how obvious it is. To them, it's like they're colorblind, and like they don't see. Maybe they don't see yellow, just for argument's sake. I think blue and green are more obvious. So if I said there was a green in there, I think that'd be more. But I think you would understand it, like, oh, blue, green, and some people don't see the difference. But you're like a yellow in the middle of a blue. You're like, well, obviously, how can you not see that? But it's like they're literally colorblind. To them, they don't see blues or yellows. They both show up as gray to them, or they show up as the same color. They can't differentiate. Just for argument's sake, I don't think that would actually happen. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know. So to them, it looks all like it fits to them. They may notice it's a little bit of a shade difference, but they can't see either color, so they don't know the difference. Not that I know how colorblind works, just to be fair. But they're just not seeing it. That's like the point. You see it, you're like, it's quite obvious. Like, obviously that doesn't fit there. They literally, the way they see things, the way they view the world, they don't see it. They don't see it. Literally don't see it. So I feel like what has to happen here, because they don't see it, you got to kind of come forward and say something. It's saying, when they see the star card, that can be a communication card, because star sometimes talks about Aquarius. Aquarius is air. Air is communication, in case you need the connection on that one. And you need to release this information. I feel like it's very important that you bring forward exactly what's going on here, and just kind of I just want to make note. We had all these things set up, and all the blue had there was this one yellow right there. I did move it to the appropriate place, and I feel like they're going to kind of look at you like, what are you talking about? And you're going to have to like slowly explain, and you're going to have to maybe have to be like, see these pictures? Do you see where this one is yellow and the rest of these are blue? And they'll be like, well, they all look the same to me. And you'll be like, well, here's that garment. Like, here it is. It's yellow. Do you see how that doesn't... And I feel like they're going to be like, they don't get it. Don't get it. They just don't. It's not like a negative thing. It's just like, literally, it's just not... It's almost like when you work with a manager, and when they were hired, they didn't know the business. They just knew how to manage. So they don't know the ins and outs of the business, and you do. So when you're like, this doesn't work, you see? Like, can you see that? And they're like... Because their forte is to manage people, not to understand how the situation works sometimes. I've worked with a manager like that before. I don't know. It makes a difference. I feel like sometimes it makes a difference. Like when they just literally don't know, and you have to show it to them. It's something like that. It feels very much like that. Because to you, it's like, well, obviously that doesn't work. And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. But I'm getting this page, or the Knight of Pentacles. Like, you'll actually like, well, here, I'll show you how it works. And you go from step to step, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you're like, see number 7. If number 7 is this, it's in the wrong spot. The energy doesn't go through it. It stops here at 6. But if you get the correct piece in here at number 7, the line is complete. It goes from beginning to end. It goes right through without a problem. And they're like, oh, okay. Because I feel like you might literally have to go that far and explain the whole thing. There's a weird energy here. Because I feel like they're completely caught off guard that this was that far off. The tower's coming in on their side like, this is a problem. And it's not the only mistake they've made. Because whatever the situation is, it's just the way they connect to it, they just don't see it. It's just not something they were taught, or they can... I wouldn't say it was their fault. I would just say they just don't connect with it. They just don't. And it shocks them when you show it to them, because the way you explain it, it takes you a minute to really go through it. But you finally get there, and you're like, see, this is how this goes together. You see how that... You get this far, and then that number 7 isn't right, so it just stops there. It doesn't go any farther. But then you switch it. You put the correct one in. Goes right through, right to 10. We're good. And they're like, yeah, okay, I see that. They also know that they're not going to be able to. It's like whatever their job is, it's like they're the overseer. They see over everything, but these little pieces, these little details, are more important than they thought they were. And they're really like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this now. They get to this point like, I don't know what I'm going to do now. It's sort of, the way this feels to me, it's sort of a black card. It's usually like the fruitless win, kind of like, okay, it worked out this time, but I don't know if I can make it work out again. It's kind of like, I don't know, it feels like I don't know what to do now. That's how I feel with them. They might have to move you closer to them. They might have to get you as more of an advisor. This might actually serve you better long term, because they can't. I feel like I'm looking at this person, they don't know what to do. Like, they're kind of like, I don't know what to do now. They got the victim card with the hanged person. Hanged person? The hanged one. The hanged one. This is going to be a block for them. Because when they realize, I don't know how all this stuff works, and this is starting to cause problems, I can do the oversight on all of this. Like, I know how the major, like, I know how to work the big picture, but some of these little pieces are causing me problems in the big picture, and I can't see them. I don't see them there. I need somebody who can see them so we can get this to work out correctly. They're going to need you going forward. Now, is this going to go your way or... There's a weird energy here, because I'm getting like... You're pointing something out and somebody has to help them. So I feel like they have to kind of like confer with other people. I don't think you're going to be the one helping them long term. I don't really know if you want to be that one anyway. But somebody else is going to have to come in and help them figure things out. They're going to need like another pair of eyes to assist them, but there is some confusion here that has to be worked out. I feel like they're trying to be a little bit more political with it. Kind of like, I just keep using that word political lately. The confusion, there's confusion. Literally it says confusion, but like, why is that there? Because I'm getting like, people are helping this person, and they don't seem to understand why they're helping this person. They're like, what? Like, they're handling things differently. They're having people double check things, and they're setting up plans, and they're having other people like, now tell me why this would work or why this wouldn't work. And people are like, what? I feel like the way they're handling it is confusing people. I think that's where the confusion is coming in. They're trying to get other people to help them without really telling them what they're doing. They're trying to like learn the situation or find a different way to handle it. It's a little odd. It's a little odd. It is a little odd. I don't know what to say about that. You seem to be like, I don't know what you're doing. Like, you helped them out that one time, but it's kind of like they're trying to seem like they're trying to seem like they know more than they actually do. And I feel like you don't like this. The despondence, I don't feel like you like this, but I also feel like I'm not. I'm just going to walk away. Because people are going to figure it out in their own time, and that's their business, and I'm not going to get caught in the middle of this. I've done my part. I pointed it out to them what wasn't going right, and I see what they're doing with it. They're trying to like get other people to do their work for them or something, but they're not letting these people know why they're asking these questions or why they're having them do this stuff. It's like they're having people double check what they're deciding to do without them realizing, why they're double checking it. It's something like that. I don't feel like you like this. It's weird. It's strange. I feel like it's very good that you're saying what needs to be said. For this person, it might be the beginning of the end for them. Not because they had this snafu where you saw what was going on and they didn't, not because of that, because of how they're handling it afterward. Because it was a matter of time before it was, before things got a little bit more difficult. I think things will work out better for you in the long run because of this, but I feel like it's almost like there's a shelf life on this situation. The way they're handling it is only going to last so long, because I feel like they're getting a lot of people to do some extra work, and it's not going to last. People are going to be like, I can't be doing double duty all the time. It makes no sense. You're going to have to explain to me what you really need, and we can find a better way to do it. They're saying just step away from it. Do yourself a favor. You did your part. You did your part. Step away from it. You need to say something, because I feel later on it will come forward that you're the one who kind of pointed out, like, listen, remember all those blue clothes and there was the one yellow? That wasn't right. Like, you were the one who pointed that out, because other people knew it, but they didn't get what was going on. Like, for some reason, it just kind of like, oh, well, that happens, and they just moved on from it. You saw it as a bigger problem, like it bothered you, so you said something. You highlighted a bigger issue, brought it forward. Later on, people are going to realize that you said something at the appropriate time and caused things to change. It actually was a good thing. Somebody later, other than the person you told in the beginning, like, other than the person who actually did this, is going to come forward and kind of be of a benefit to you. That's going to be later, though. It's very good that you're saying something now. It needs to be said. I don't see this going negatively for you, by the way, in any sense. Only thing I see negative is kind of like, you're kind of like looking at, like, what are they doing? Like, after you tell them and you explain what went wrong, and they try to find a different way to handle it, you're a little annoyed the way they're handling it, but overall it's not that bad for you. Like, it's just kind of like, ugh, that's ridiculous. You just got to step away from it. You did your part. All you can do is say, like, well, that didn't work out right and this is why, and you just highlighted it. What they did with it from there, that's on them. Are we good? All right. I feel like a lot of this, for some of you, this is just like explaining what's going on and why. I feel like it maybe is filling in some pieces maybe you weren't aware of. Maybe that's what's going on there. Because I'm like, what are you getting out of this reading? I feel like it might be filling in pieces, kind of like, all right, where's this going? How's this going to work? Is there anything else we need to talk about with this? I think we're good. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.